Hey everybody, welcome to the latest Focusable update. Version 0.13.2, I believe, is in the App Store as of today and should be automatically updated on your devices and available by web. We think of this update as a little bit more than just a product update. If you navigate over to our website, you'll see quite a bit of changes in terms of how we explain the product and the problems that we are targeting solving. In some respects, it's a return to where we've started, in that we're talking more about the challenges with AI that we believe are coming. And it's really what the guiding light for us has been from the start of this whole project. So that's something to check out, some of the problem statements. There's some associated use case pages for education, home, and for work that all contain some updates that I think are worth checking out and that we'd love your feedback on. Our new tagline for the service to go along with that is Focusable is a pulse of energy that you need for better attention. Another thing just to give us some feedback on, something we're excited about. So that's something to check out. And like I said, we'd love to hear thoughts, comments, feedback on all of it. The second part of this update is really a reintegration of our experience. In the last couple of months, we've really been emphasizing the recharge experience you see on the left, which is kind of the starting point of our experience, trying to build better activities, better experiences within those activities. But we've let the other side, which is the tools to help you focus, be stagnant. And we've really put an effort into reintegrating those into one experience. And you'll see evidence of that on our site where we're explaining the experience through the language of it being a 1, 2, 3 or a 3-step process to better attention, which we hope will help explain the value proposition and the ease of use a little bit better. And so I'll show you and demonstrate to you how that works a little bit more today. You'll see evidence of that in the upper section of the app where there's those 3 dots that symbolize the 3 different steps. So we'll work through that. The first thing I want to quickly show you is we have added a new activity, which is power breathing activity. Let's click on it here. Power breathing is a favorite of mine. It's derived from the Wim Hof breathing method. And it's a little bit longer than our other activities, but it's one that really brings maximum relief from overstimulation. And if you feel like you can't concentrate, it really gives you this maximum physical effect that some of the other breathing exercises don't quite approximate. So for me, especially when I'm pretty stressed out, it's my go-to for figuring out how to recenter and get focused. So one of the things you'll notice is I just did the activity. It'll come up. I encourage you to try it. I'm not going to walk you through the whole thing here because it's about a 7-minute long exercise. But once I've done an activity, you'll see the prompt changes and it says swipe to refocus. So the first step of the 3 steps is recharge, and the second step of the 3 steps is refocus. And that takes you to a new feature that we are calling, at least internally, the pulse timer, and I'll show that to you. So what it does is it takes you through what's known as a physiological sigh, then symbolically encourages you to move past any distractions that might be in front of you, email, social media, and things like that, and set a duration where you really try to focus on doing one thing. You have the option of 5 minutes. You can also adjust it to 10 minutes. And then this animation that you see of the pulse starts shrinking in accordance with the time. Now, this is just an initial push to get you into focusing on something. It's not meant to be the total duration of the activity. Once this is done, and I'll show you in a minute, this expires and takes you to a space where you can just continue working and continue tracking the time you spend on that activity. So what you can see is I've let the pulse timer click down. It's almost expiring as we go, still encouraging me to do one thing. And as that timer expires, what you'll see is a couple things. One is our pulse of energy will drop to the bottom of the screen. It gives you a little encouragement. Great job refocusing, keep going, and leaves you in this workspace. So here's where you keep working, doing whatever you're doing, whether you're on a meeting, writing, reading, so on and so forth. Anytime that you need that pulse of energy, all you need to do is click that little pulse dot at the bottom of the screen, which to me is a recommitment to struggle with your focus again. And I find in things like work sessions, writing, or I even use this during meetings where topics will change and my focus starts to diminish, that I just have this sitting there and I click that button to recommit and symbolize my refocusing on what's being discussed. And it's super helpful, reminds me of what I need to do. And so you can use that as many times as you want throughout any kind of work session. Very occasionally, I'll go all the way back to the recharge screen, which I can swipe back to as well. If I'm finding that I'm just blocked and I can't make progress on something and I really need to reset myself and recharge. But a lot of the times, all I need is some sort of explicit recommitment to pay attention and to listen to what someone is saying, or to really push myself to produce. And so that's what the pulse timer is really there for. And oftentimes in an hour meeting, I might use that up to 5 times. Now, once that's done and I want to recap and describe what I worked on, at any time I can swipe to the next screen and start a recording, which captures whatever it is I want to capture. Sometimes it's just describing my thoughts on a task. Other times it's documenting what I'm doing. I used this the other day to get myself to stop scrolling Twitter, get up from my seat, go down and start working out in our gym, and actually captured a short video of what I was doing with my focused time. And it was a really great application for that. I've also used it for things like making sure that I make the commitment to call my relatives when I'm tired or again, just distracted doing other things. So those are all applications where we're finding this new 1, 2, 3 recharge, refocus, and record is really helpful for recommitting to focus and overcoming whatever it is, overstimulation, overwhelm, stress, anxiety. It's a great way to do that. And like before, you can save that off, which then takes you to the group feed where you can see other people's activities, encourage them, support them, so on and so forth in their mission. So that's the new 1, 2, 3 experience. Like I said, we're using it pretty prolifically. I find that I use this experience at least 4 or 5 times a day, both to get myself through meetings, to help myself commit to work, which is one of the challenges of a company founder, which is you have a lot of meetings, which means single task focus to write or produce videos, as in this case, is very difficult. And just before I did this video, by the way, I also did a 4-7-8 breathing exercise, which is my way of getting into this task. There's a lot of other changes, simplifications and improvements that are less worth noting in this video. I'd encourage you to log in and click around and experience them for themselves. And overall, this is something we're pretty excited about. We think we're making progress as a team towards a better story about why this is a useful tool, as well as a better experience that helps solve the problems we're trying to solve. And we'd love your feedback. So any way that you can reach us, please reach out. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for being a Focusable user.